Hello, and welcome to another episode of State of the Art, the show that shines a light on the College of Fine Arts here at Wichita State University. First, we'll take a look at Shocker Studios, the home to the new Bachelor of Applied Arts and Media Arts degree.
We are the home to the new Bachelor of Applied Arts and Media Arts degree that does animation, game design, audio production, and filmmaking. The program itself is, with it being a Bachelor of Applied Arts, it's a unique program, not real common in the United States. One of the really great parts about this degree is that students get hands-on experience from the first day in the classroom. They're able to work on projects at a professional level.
Shocker Studios, kind of the goal of what I think this facility is supposed to entail is to try and take the 4-degree programs that we have here and all of those students kind of combine them together in a single space in the hope that all of the students will sort of collaborate with each other in their projects, right?
It's almost like a hub, like a creative hub for the students. You know, we've got a green screen, we've got audio booths, we've got just all sorts of sections that are set up to where, you know, the student can come in here and even after hours, you know, they can come in here and they can work on their project they have for media class, or they can even have their own project.
This is where they're going to meet their fellow collaborators. This is where they're going to meet their fellow competition, right? They're going to come to class and share an experience together that I hope will spur them to go outside of class and do projects together.
One of the ways that we sought to foster creative work for our students was to develop what we call the Shocker Studios Creative Development Team. And the Creative Development Team is tasked with going through different projects that are presented to us to see how can we put this together, how can we get our students involved as part of the production of these.
Pretty much it's just a group of students that we kind of just round up together, and we have like several different projects that we could like pretty much sign up for if we wanted to. So like if one project interests us but another one doesn't, we kind of can just pick and choose which ones we want to hop on. It's
really about taking those students that have come through the BAA classes and giving them an opportunity to apply those skill sets that they've learned in a meaningful way. It gives our students a glimpse into the production process, what's involved from that very first meeting with a client all the way through to presenting a finished product.
Just kind of gets your foot in the door, which is really helpful.
You can learn the foundation in the classroom of how to edit a video, how to, you know, set up audio and all of that, but I guess being able to apply it in an actual setting of how you are going to use it, it's probably the best thing to learn from these projects that we do.
To learn more about Shocker Studios and the new Bachelor of Applied Arts and Media Arts degree, simply go to wichita.edu/mediaarts. If you noticed a big chrome camper parked near the Ulrich Museum recently, it wasn't an unfortunate family who got lost on their vacation and wound up on the WSU lawn. It was, in fact, a traveling pottery exhibit. The Artstream Nomadic Gallery, housed in a restored 1967 Airstream trailer, has been traveling the country for over 15 years exhibiting contemporary studio pottery produced by national, international, and emerging ceramic artists. The group is based in Carbondale, Colorado, and has made stops in over 100 locations across the country. As well as the camper pottery exhibit, they also presented several free artist demos in Henry and Hall. Ceramic artists John Cohorst, Molly Berger, and Justin D'Onofrio demonstrated pottery techniques, shared stories, and answered students' questions. The event was in collaboration with the WSU Ceramics Guild, Ceramics Media, and the School of Art, Design, and Creative Industries. For more information about the Artstream Nomadic Gallery and their exhibiting artists, go to art-stream.com. Up next, we'll check in with WSU Director of Opera Alan Held. This is Held's first year as Director of Opera at WSU. However, he is certainly no stranger to the stage or WSU. Held received his Master of Music from WSU back in 1983 and has spent the last 30-plus years performing professionally in operas all over the world. Held still performs professionally in places like Cleveland, Vienna, and Luxembourg. Let's see how he manages to balance performing worldwide while still teaching and directing WSU Opera Program's most recent production of Nozze di Figaro.
I knew that the first production I wanted to do, first full production I wanted to do at Wichita State would be Nozze di Figaro. Primarily because it was my first opera that I was ever in as well, 40 years ago. When preparing the opera, we spend weeks and weeks and weeks on the music alone. I don't allow them to start doing any stagecraft, any of that kind of thing, until the opera is memorized. And then we polish them and rehearse them, and they interact. They learn the language because we're doing it in Italian. This is an extremely difficult opera because there's a thing called recitative, which isn't singing arias, which isn't in singing duets. It's more like spoken dialogue on sung pitches. And this is very challenging for singers, especially when it's not their native language. And they've taken that on and they've done a great job. It's extremely successful what they're doing. It's really quite a production. Oh, what's over here? No, this is one of our finer young men. This is Carabino. Okay. It's a pants roll, as we call it, a trousers roll, where typical to the period, a young woman would play the role of a young boy. And this is one of our youngest women playing one of our youngest boys. As well as teaching and directing, I'm still performing. I am currently doing performances, rehearsals in Cleveland with the Cleveland Orchestra. I consider them the best orchestra in the world. And then I regularly performing at the Vienna State Opera, the Washington National Opera, at the Kennedy Center in Washington. The Cleveland Orchestra, of course, we do performances in Cleveland, but we also went out on tour this year and went to Vienna. We went to Luxembourg, and we've been specializing in this opera of Janacek called The Cunning Little Vixen. However, the performances I have coming up are in Wagner's masterpiece, Tristan and Isolde. And in the middle of doing that, here we're doing our production of Figaro here at Wichita State. So I'll be commuting back and forth between Wichita and Cleveland. It's a huge challenge to balance singing and teaching and directing and keeping a balance. As an opera singer, you still have to prepare and preserve and keep your voice in as good a shape as you possibly can. And you have to be conscious of that while you're teaching. If you're speaking all day, if you're directing all day, you still have to leave something in the tank so that you can sing yourself. When the people call and they say, hey, we need you to sing. One word. So I have to pace myself. I have to get plenty of rest, make sure I stay healthy. And I'm trying to pass that on to my students as well. My number one goal for the opera program was to have the students performing as much as they possibly could. At many universities, graduate students take all the roles. The undergraduates don't get the opportunity, and then it comes time where they want to go to graduate school, and they don't have the opportunities on the resume or the experience to do as well on stage. I am a very big believer in Wagner's concept of Gesamtkunstwerk. This is the entire realm of art coming together. The acting, the singing, the languages, the music, everything, orchestra, lighting, costumes, everything has to come together to make the quality production.
And then between acts 3 and 4, again, it's a verbal cue from me, no lighting cue.
And so only through performing, only through actually being on the stage will they get that experience. And I think we've provided that this year. We had a concert performance of L'Elisir d'Amore in the fall, which allowed them to concentrate primarily on the music with some acting. And now we're doing our full production of Nozze di Figaro, where we have singers of all ages, freshmen through graduate students, all performing.
It's called The Marriage of Figaro because Figaro is getting married on that day. He's getting married to Susanna, who's probably one of the most important characters in the whole show. Essentially, the Count is wanting to seduce my wife on the night of my marriage. And I'm not really having that, and so I'm trying to get him to not do that the whole opera. Mozart is just a pleasure to sing. The direction that we've gotten through Alan's directing and the maestro Laycock is great. The orchestra is doing a fantastic job as student performers. We're growing a lot as a company, and I expect the show to be fantastic when we open it.
We've had so much time. We've been working on it since early February, and we've had rehearsals like Monday through Friday every week. We feel very prepared. It's a long opera, so it took a long time to prepare, but Alan's doing a great job getting this opera, program up and running and getting this opera on its feet, and I feel like it's going to be a great show and people are going to really enjoy it. Some people think that opera is like a dead art. It's really not. People just don't know a lot about it. They don't know where it's accessible to them, and we have it right here. We have it at Wichita State. We have it in other places in Wichita, and it's like something different that you don't really think about as enjoyable. You've got sports, you've got musicals, but like an opera is like a different form of art, and it's also historical, and I think that a lot of people will enjoy that aspect of it. It's just a different way of telling a story.
We have a great group of fine young singing actors. I had someone say to me last week, one of the technical people came in and said he's never seen an opera so well prepared. And they are really solid right now.
After the show opened later that week, Professor Held said the performances were an enormous success. He said he received countless comments on how far the acting had come within the department and how well the young artists sang. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the world's superheroes went into hiding, leaving their not-so-competent sidekicks to fight evil? The WSU theater program explored that very thought in their brand new feature-length film, Sidekicks. The theater program produced its first film in 2016 and has continued to make one each year. Let's take a look at what went into the making of this year's action and comedy-packed film.
So the movie that Wichita State University Theater is putting on this spring is called Sidekicks. This is our third movie that we've done as part of our season. It's a farce comedy, and the premise is the world's superheroes have literally gone underground and have left their sidekicks to defend the earth, and the sidekicks are inept, and the government sure doesn't want to use them, but when evil rears its ugly head, they have to go out and face down evil. We have a business major who volunteered for our first movie, Redux, to be director of photography, and he wanted to do it again. And we have an alumni, Robert Thomas, who wanted to be involved, and he is co-director of photography. So those guys are also involved. They also did all the special effects and post-production. We also had a production sound mixer, Sydney Jordan.
So my exact role was during the production of the movie, during the filming, I was with the actors and with the cinematographers, and I would hold the boom microphone and record the sound of whatever was happening. I think the best part was getting to see the actors acting all the time and knowing that what we have was the final cut.
We hope that they understand that acting style changes based on the medium. You have to amplify your voice, you have to amplify your body as well. But when you have a camera in your face and it's just a couple of feet away and a microphone is over your head, it changes everything.
I've been doing theater since high school, and when I came to Wichita State and I found out we did films, I was hoping that someday I would have the chance to do one, to experience what that's like and learn differences between that and stage acting. It was difficult at first. I had to pitch down with my voice and not project as loud as I normally would on stage, because the microphone is like right underneath you or right above you, and not gesterize, which I don't do much as an actor, but toning that down so it didn't look ridiculous.
It's wonderful to look at the students' work that took them several weeks to do and piece together and have a finished product that we can put in front of an audience, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the audience enjoy it. I mean, that's what we're here to do. That is our job.
To watch the entire film, go to Wichita State University Theater Film's YouTube channel, or simply follow the link in the description below this video. Well, that'll do it for this episode of State of the Art. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.